Wonderful. So, good morning and welcome. It is so wonderful to be here with Sandy and David, co-founders of Zing Bars. And I'm Mascha Davis. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist and media dietitian. I'm also the author of Eat Your Vitamins, and I'm so excited to be chatting about my personal favorite bars, Zing Bars, today. So, David, would you like to give us a brief introduction of who you are?
Yeah, thank you, Mascha. It's great to be here. David Ingalls, I'm a dietitian as well, and a co-founder of Zing Bars with Sandy, Minhai, and Kathleen, and am excited to be here today. The past 10 years, I've been running the company, and so it's exciting to be here with Sandy and you and talk a little bit about Zing Bars.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here today. Great to see you, David and Mascha. I'm Sandy Kaplan. I am also a registered dietitian nutritionist, and as David said, one of the co-founders of Zing Bars. And it's been quite the journey. We're so proud of Zing Bars, and I'm just really excited to talk about it with you today.
Wonderful. Well, let's dive in and let's talk about what Zing Bars are, what inspired you to start these bars, and what makes them different.
Great. Yeah, I'll start off here, Mascha. And the inspiration for Zing Bars really arose from our counseling practices. So Sandy, Minhai, Kathleen, and I were all counseling patients with all sorts of nutritional concerns and issues, and we noticed that a healthy snack was just universal, independent of what was going on. So we were constantly recommending healthy snacks, be it almonds and apples, or one of my favorites are the salmon lettuce rolls, and in the background also starting families. So we would be sort of doing our nutritional counseling during the day, and then we'd come home and we'd be putting healthy meals and snacks together for our kids. And whenever you go on an outing with with a 3, 5, 8, 10-year-old, you not only lug around all of the coats and jackets and shoes and a whole bag of stuff, but you also have your bag of snacks. And Zing Bars sort of emerged as this, wow, we understand nutrition. We understand what is important to keep your energy up and to keep you healthy. And wouldn't it be nice to pack something nice, easy, and convenient that our kids can eat and that our kids can thrive with? So it was sort of a combination of our experience in our nutritional counseling practice informing a healthy snack for our kids and our families.
Wonderful.
Yeah, totally. And David, I'll jump in. I'll say from a personal point of view, certainly patient after patient was struggling with, what do I eat during my commute? What do I eat, if I'm in a work meeting and don't have a break and I feel uncomfortable pulling out my crunchy carrots and my,
Right.
tuna fish, right? And so I was getting that question over and over again. But I also, my husband was diagnosed as being unable to eat gluten at the age of 19. So I knew when we got married that was an issue. And then I was diagnosed in my 20s with the same issue. And then we had 2 kids who can't have gluten either. So then there was this added dimension of, okay, and what do I eat when I have 5 minutes between patients? And how can I feed my kids a healthy and convenient option that is gluten-free as well? And at the time, when we started in 2008, gluten-free was not where it is today by any means. We were making so many things from scratch. And the bars that were on the market, there were 1 or 2 gluten-free bars, but their macronutrient combinations were really not the best. So they were very high in carbohydrates and sugar. They were based on only fruit, for example. And so I think the need to create a bar came as much from our patients' needs as our own personal needs, as David was saying. And so the gluten-free piece became really important to us because that's what my whole family was dealing with.
Incredible. That's so phenomenal. And something that you just touched on is the macros. So I would love to hear more about the macros in these bars, because I think that's one of the things that makes them so unique and so appealing. These are designed by dietitians, and so they have this incredible macronutrient profile. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, the macronutrients is, we speak of it so fluidly, but it's sort of a dietetic jargon, right? So macronutrients are the big sort of nutrients that we need in order to thrive. So there's three of them, right? There's protein, carbohydrates, and fats. And there's so much misinformation these days in the nutrition world, or just sort of out in really the popular culture. So carbohydrates, for example, have been vilified, and fats have been, fat-free. Don't eat fats. A big part of our jobs as counselors was to clarify the misinformation. So when we talk about the protein, carbohydrates, and fats, or the macronutrients, the way we sort of differentiate our bar and the clarity that we would like to bring to, our clients, our patients, the broader cultural discussion in nutrition is kind of what we call the right macros, or the good macros, right? So it's not just the balance of protein, carbs, and fats, but it's using the right macros. So plant protein is a key component of the bar. So we have 10 grams of plant protein. What we call good carbs, okay? Low glycemic, it's not going to spike your blood sugar, low in sugar, and high in fiber. Fiber, actually a carbohydrate. You want fiber in your diet. So we have plant protein, good carbs, and healthy fats. And healthy fats from the Zing bars come from the nuts and the nut butters. They have monounsaturated fats, and these are fats that your body requires for health, longevity, and cellular functioning, right? So we sort of hang our hat on the good macros, the plant protein, the good carbs, and the healthy fats as the sort of core component of Zing bars.
Yeah, and I would say that it's the quality, right, David? That's really what you're saying. It's the quality of the ingredients that we choose. So, you can take plant protein and you can have pretty crummy quality plant protein, or you can have really high quality plant protein. And the same with the carbohydrates, and the same with the fats. So we've never, from the start, we were just unwilling to compromise on ingredients, because we understand that the quality makes the biggest difference, not only to how the bars nutritionally affect a person and their energy and their mood and their blood sugar, but also to how the bars taste, right? So we know that if you're cooking in the kitchen, the food's always going to taste better with the highest quality ingredients. And we believe the same way for the bars, which is why they taste amazing.
Yeah. And so I have 2 or 3 comments on that. I think in addition to the macros, the taste has always been an absolute North Star for us. Again, we wanted our kids to eat the bars. Kids are picky eaters. Kids are not going to eat something with a, artificial sweetener, or that doesn't have a strong, robust flavor. So it's really the great macros and the quality macros plus the great taste is the sort of combination that nourishes the family. Right.
And David, we taste tested on our kids at the start,
right?
And
right.
throughout,
That's how
we tried all different kinds of recipes, different ingredients, and we'd put it in front of the kids. And if the kids gave it 2 thumbs up, we were like, we're moving in the right direction.
Yes, exactly. This works. And so I also wanted to touch on the ingredients, because as Sandy said, when you're using high quality ingredients, it's going to taste better. So we stay away from, refined flours and refined sugars and ingredients that are going, that where most of the, elements have been refined out, and you just sort of have not a whole lot left for either nutrition or flavor. So we stay away from those, and we focus on, for example, our protein source. Our protein comes from brown rice and almonds. And I think we're the only bar on the market that actually uses almond protein as a protein source. And it has that sort of almondy marzipan overtones to it.
Mhm.
So you're getting a lot of flavor and a lot of sweetness and a lot of sort of that pop of flavor just from the ingredients themselves. Real dark chocolate, another ingredient that we chose instead of using sort of that, waxy Snickers-like compound chocolate that doesn't have a lot of flavor to it, but has a great shape and it always looks the same, right? We use a real dark chocolate that requires a lot of finesse and a lot of attention to make and to produce repeatedly. So high quality ingredients, yeah, we're sort of sustained that great flavor.
Yeah. That was one of the things that impressed me the most initially when I first learned about Zing bars and first tried them, was that you have managed to create a bar that is not only so delicious, it tastes absolutely incredible. Almost all of my clients tell me that this is the best bar they've ever tried, but that's also so nutritionally balanced in terms of the macronutrients and has such high quality ingredients. So, I mean, how did you figure all of that out? Was it a lot of trial and error? Like,
I mean, at the start it was.
I think that there's no other bar that has this level of quality, nutritional value, and taste.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, there was lots of trial and error. And I mean, we had some funny experiments. We tried some combinations that were like, oh, this is gritty, or whoa, that's a weird aftertaste, until we really figured it out.
Yeah, and it's a combination of working in your kitchen and getting the almond butter out and getting the proteins out and we use a tapioca syrup to sort of hold the ingredients together and give them form. So there's this sort of multi-step process where it starts in the kitchen, and that honestly continues today, and then you actually have to then be able to produce the bar, right? So then you have to go out and make sure that it goes through the extruder and that it comes out in such a way that it can be coated by the chocolate. And that's a whole sort of second step to say, okay, now we want to go to market with this, make sure that all of the macronutrients and the nutritional value that we want and that we've created in our kitchen, we're able to sort of duplicate that in a production environment. And it's an ongoing process, because when we started, as Sandy said, in 2008, there were 12 to 15 grams of sugar in the bar. And over time, we've said, you know what, we want to reduce that. And so how can we take the sugar out, keep the flavor the same, keep the macronutrients the same, and still deliver a high quality product? Back into the kitchen, back into the R&D room, and we've achieved that. So now it's 7 grams, and we've literally cut it in half, which is a point of pride for us as nutritionists.
And I love that we have so many different flavor profiles. So, some folks are really into the chocolatey piece, and some people prefer the fruity, and there really is something for everyone. There's a bar, I will often ask folks what their favorite bar is, and there's such a wide range of answers. I'm like, of course it's chocolate peanut butter. Like, what else could they be, right? But there are other folks who are like, no, that's not my thing. I'm totally into the coconut. So it's fun that there's a flavor profile for everybody.
What are each of your favorite flavors?
David, go ahead.
Mine is the dark chocolate peanut butter. I'm just sort of that, love that combination. And again, when you get that dark chocolate with the real strong peanut flavor, it tastes fantastic.
I'm with David. My mom's favorite flavor is the coconut.
That's my
Loves
favorite.
the coconut. That's yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are our two top sellers, the dark
Mhm.
chocolate peanut butter, the dark chocolate coconut. Those are
Okay.
the two. And then mint mint's not as much of a universal flavor, but we use a really strong peppermint oil. So when you taste the mint, if you like mint, it's sort of like that peppermint patty flair of flavor. And it is phenomenal. So
It's
we
my
have
daughter's favorite, just saying.
it
She
is. Okay, there
loves,
you go.
yeah.
She loves the
Mint.
mint. And the
Yeah.
cherry too. There's people who just are like, I don't normally like cherry, but it's just a really these Montmorency cherries. They taste that sort of tart, sweet flavor. And with the almonds, you get that kind of marzipan sweetness of the almonds and the almond butter and the almond protein. And it just combines to create a real delight.
Amazing. Amazing. So let's talk about some of your top consumers, the mindful mamas. Why do they love Zing so much?
I can start here, David, because I
Sure.
am
You
definitely a
are one.
mindful mama. I think I speak for a lot of moms when I say that we're doing a lot in our day and in our week and in our month. And we really need all the energy we can get. So as a mom, I don't have time for that mid-afternoon slump or to be dragging in the morning or to have my mood be all over the place. The energy is so important for me to do the work that I do, and even more importantly, to take care of the family that I have. And so it's incredibly important to me to nourish myself well, but it's equally important for me to nourish my family well. And I think that was a big deal for me when I had kids, realizing how important it was for me to feed these little beings well. And now they're 17 and 15. They're not little beings anymore, but they still are, focused on eating healthy and wanting to feel their best. And it's been really neat to see that Zing bars have been able to take my kids from, they were 1 and 3 when we launched, and now they're 17 and 15. And they enjoy them as much now as they did then. And I believe Zing bars have positively impacted their health so much over the years. So I think, mamas are busy. We're looking for quick, easy, convenient, but we don't want to compromise, not for ourselves and not for our families. And that's where Zing bars has just really helped me as a working mindful mom.
And I think, Mascha, it wasn't, we didn't start the company and say, oh, a mindful mama, that's our target audience. So we're going to create a product for them. As we were speaking earlier, we wanted, the product just sort of organically arose from our counseling practices and, infused by the sort of North Star of our kids needing a healthy snack, as Sandy has spoken to. But what we have found over time is that moms get it. They understand. They're, equally passionate about nutrition, doing what's right for their kids, having a snack they can depend on, understand, when I talk about, plant protein and healthy fats to the guys, they're like, okay, whatever, how much protein? When you talk about it with moms, they're like, oh yes, like that's crucial. The monounsaturated fats and the nuts and the nut butters and the healthy carbs and the good carbs, and it won't spike your blood sugar. And like, you can have that conversation and they become sort of animated and they get it. So it's almost like, again, a lot of this company has sort of evolved organically, even to how we got into the retail environment, just by, we sold them out of our offices to begin with. We didn't anticipate selling at Whole Foods or at PCC or, any of these markets. Our clients brought them there, right? And then, now we're on to this sort of next phase. And it was very much like that with, the mindful mamas, is that, they got it. They supported us. They encouraged us to come out with more flavors and to, hey, how about non-GMO? How about soy-free? How about, and so we've really taken our cues from our customers who engage with us and who really seem to get the importance of healthy eating and good nutrition.
Because they really feel the difference for themselves and their kids. Like they see it, they feel it, it makes sense to them.
Amazing, amazing. So now that you have built this phenomenal brand, this successful bar company, what would you say to someone who wants to start their own food brand or their own bar company?
Well, I've been I'll take this, Sandy, since I've sort of been in the thick of things for 10 years, right?
Yep.
Or more. That's a conversation in and of itself, Mascha, and I hope we have the opportunity to explore it more deeply. But there's a couple of things that have really helped us maintain our focus and our passion, and that's one of them is sort of sticking to our core values. I can talk every day about the importance of good carbs and steady blood sugar and sustained energy and as Sandy was saying, like when you feed yourself, we don't have time. We don't have time to lose a day because we're tired or we're sick or we are sort of always on. And so that has been a real core value of ours is nutrition and this, good carbs and healthy fats and plant proteins. So sticking to our core values has really helped us maintain our passion, maintain our focus, and maintain our identity in a constantly sort of changing environment and with lots of different demands, right? You have your retailers, they want something. You have your investors, they want something. You have your employees, everybody wants something a little bit different. And I think sticking to your core values has really helped us maintain our focus and maintain our passion throughout this whole journey.
And know that it takes a lot more time and work than you would expect. I remember when we first started, it was kind of the beginning of the summer, and we're like, oh, we'll have a bar out by October for our patients.
Right.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time and a lot of work and sustained effort.
I can echo that. As someone who has also started a food company, I know how incredibly challenging it is to keep going. So what has kept you going?
Well, everyone should have a David Engels in their life. I mean, it's not there, right?
Let's do it. We can do it. A positive attitude. Positive attitude certainly helps. But again, it's back to this, what we're doing, Mascha, is what got us into this profession to begin with, right? We love nutrition. We love food. We love, I think a little bit about my past is that I had chronic fatigue in my 20s and 30s. And so I have really had to focus on eating well, on getting my rest, on not overdoing it, on taking care of myself. And I think in our culture, that's not encouraged. It's encouraged to take care of your family. It's encouraged to work hard at your job. It's encouraged to sort of sacrifice yourself and your needs for the sort of, interests and relationships that you're involved in. And basically, the sort of what has sustained me is what we've been talking about all along is this focus on health, on well-being, on nutrition. That's something we get to do every day. You don't get into the nutrition field to make a ton of money. You get into it because it fills you, it excites you, it enlivens you. And so it's just been, I'm eternally grateful to be able to do that in my day-to-day job and have that as sort of the sort of core underpinnings of what we do.
And we believe and see that it helps so many people. So I think the testimonials and the folks who will, just come up and say like, this has been amazing. This has really helped me stabilize my blood sugars. This has really helped me feed my kids, whatever those pieces are. That really is very heartwarming.
I was at the climbing gym a month ago. My son, who's now 13, one of his many interests is rock climbing. And so, we go to the rock climbing gym, and he's gotten to be pretty good. And I walked in with my Zing t-shirt, and the gal behind the desk was like, "Oh, Zing, I know that company." And I was like, "Yeah, what do you know?" She's like, "The bars, they're delicious. They're my favorite bar. I eat them all the time." And, here is a 28-year-old, super fit, like rock climbing, rock climber. And she saw the t-shirt. She completely identified with it. She loved the product. And it was that also is super gratifying, right? When someone, complete stranger, knows that you're involved with a great product and says, "Oh, I love that product. I love Zing bars."
Totally.
I love that. I've had such an incredible experience with my own clients where I've recommended Zing, and then at the next session, they're like, "I can't believe these bars. They're so good. They don't even taste like a healthy bar. They taste more like a candy bar. How is this so healthy?" So I can only imagine how that feels for you as the founders to hear that all the time. And that must really help to sustain you and keep you going.
Well, we've always believed that, amazing nutrition does not have to be depriving.
Right.
You don't need to be eating, I don't know, plain kale and quinoa and choking it down if you don't like it. There are wonderful ways to eat kale and quinoa. There are also times you don't have time to cook kale and quinoa. And so we wanted the Zing bars to feel like and to be a nourishing treat. So people are taking care of themselves in a way that's yummy. And that feels really good.
Exactly. Amazing. So I also wanted to ask you, from your perspective, what trends are you seeing in this business, in the market? What's coming up next?
So, it's interesting you say, because when we started even thinking about this, right, we're talking early 2000s, and we're, seeing clients, and we're, our whole lives are focused on nutrition. And a lot of what we studied, and what, you as a dietitian and what nutritionists sort of understand, are becoming way more mainstream now. So increasing your fiber, reducing the sugars, gluten-free, everybody thought was a trend back when we started it. And they're like, don't hang your hat on gluten-free. That's going to come and go. It's not going to come and go, because 3% of the country has celiac disease, right? And, millions and millions of people need gluten-free foods. So we have sort of been, just from the outset, on many of these trends, sort of, again, reducing sugars, gluten-free, soy-free. We were the first non-GMO bar. So we don't use any genetically modified ingredients. And that's a big thing. Now, there's a number of companies that are following suit there. So those are all trends. I think another trend, again, one that we've been on for quite a long time, is plant food, plant protein. And Zing bars are plant-based bar, right? And that's great for the planet. It's great for our health. So that's another trend that, we sort of take a pride in saying, yes, we've been there for quite some time. And it's nice to see as time goes by, people are much more interested in nutrition and health and longevity and well-being. And Zing bars, really play into all of those trends, or all of those sort of micro trends that build into that bigger trend of health and well-being.
David, I would throw one more in there. I think on the heels of COVID, we're seeing a big focus on immunity.
Right.
People wanting to improve their immune systems and be more resilient in the face of, viruses and illness in general. And the quality of the ingredients and the macronutrients in Zing bars support immunity beautifully. But would you agree, David? I've just been hearing that from a lot of people. Like, how do I strengthen my immune system?
Absolutely. Immunity is a huge issue right now, and I think will continue to be. going forward. So the pandemic certainly kicked that into high gear. And another part of immunity and another part of sort of health and well-being is intestinal health, gut health, right?
Yeah.
So we use a prebiotic tapioca syrup. And most people have heard of probiotics, which are the healthy bacteria that reside in our gut and that help us sort of break down food and maintain our digestion. Prebiotics are the sort of the food that feeds the healthy bacteria. So it's sort of like the the food that feeds the bacteria. And again, we've been using a prebiotic dietary fiber since the get-go, because we just understand that every little piece that you can, every time you eat, you have an opportunity to sort of promote health, immunity, well-being. And so we sort of try to, put as much into a Zing bar to promote health and well-being as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So what is next for you and for Zing?
Well, we can't divulge all of our secrets, Mascha, but we're definitely working on some new products. And one nice thing at having sort of been through the growing pains, and we're still a very small brand, right, compared to the big Cliff and Kind bars. And that said, we now have a sales department and marketing and distribution and operations and finance and manufacturing. Those all are in place, and so we're freed up, and me in particular, more freed up now that all of that's sort of in place to focus on product development. Mm-hmm. So are there products that we could come out with that bolster immunity the more, or that that are appropriate to go into schools? Because right now Zing bars are great, but they do have that almond butter and almond protein or peanut base to them, and you can't bring those into schools. But we want our kids, and we want kids in general to benefit from nutrition. So we're exploring a lot of different avenues and a lot of different ideas in the product development area, and are sort of fortunate to have time to be able to go and do that. And me as sort of the main product development person, I'm gratified that I have the time and the bandwidth to be able to focus on that.
Yeah, it's really exciting. David is so innovative and creative in this space. So I think everyone's really going to benefit from what comes next.
Wow. I am also very excited to see the new innovations coming out. I know you're always so forward thinking and so innovative. So where can people find Zing bars right now?
Our website, certainly, zingbars.com. That's plural, zingbars.com.
And we have great deals there, I have to say. Like the email deals that come out are awesome. So definitely get yourself subscribed there.
Yeah, subscribing to, and that's sort of the easiest place. Amazon, and then a handful of stores throughout the country. So certain divisions of Whole Foods. We started in Seattle, so the whole Pacific Northwest, metropolitan market, PCC, all of the Hagen's grocery chain up in the Pacific Northwest. Those all Zing bars are one of the most popular bars on the shelves there. Rite Aid, we just got distribution in Rite Aid and Walgreens, and working on some bigger distribution deals in addition. So more to come on that front. But yeah, there's plenty of places to find.
It's fun because you'll find them in just interesting places. They happen to be in our local grocery store, Heinen's in Cleveland.
Heinen's.
Yeah. So, but as David said, the website has great deals, Amazon for sure, but depending on where you live, it'll be in your local store too.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So this has been incredible. Is there anything that we didn't cover that you want to share?
Mascha, you've done such a great job at taking us through, the story behind the bars and what makes us different. I think we've covered it pretty well. Thank you to your, interviewing skills.
Yeah, it's been really fun. Really fun.
It's such an honor. I mean, you guys have created something that I have admired as both a professional, as a dietitian, and as an entrepreneur for so long. So it's incredible to learn more about the genesis of the brand and how it all came about and where it may be going. So I wish you so much luck. I can't wait to learn even more. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you
so
very much. Really appreciate it,
It's been
Mascha.
great to be here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Hey.